What's up, you guys? Mighty Mike here, the podcast server. I'm just out here serving today, and I don't know if it's allergies or if I'm sick, so sorry for the mess that you see here, but it doesn't matter, right? We still got to get out there and serve it. So, gonna hit the road today. I thought, I'm just gonna go serving. I don't want to share any content. I don't want to do any Facebook lives or YouTube lives, or I make videos sometimes for my courses while I'm on the road. I'll make a video if I have a thought about something. So, but for today, I'm just going to take you guys for a ride. YouTube is a great resource if you're into the social media marketing and you're following me on the marketing stuff. YouTube is a great resource for long video marketing. So today's video is going to be a longer one. So if you're watching, enjoy. If you've never been a process server and you want to go along for a ride, that's what today's going to be all about. So might be a little bumpy, might be a little bit distracting at times, but I'm going to kind of go through a few things. I don't know if I'm going to go through my whole route tonight with you, but I want to get started with you. So let me see if I can I like it because I can turn it around on YouTube. So I just did my route, and here we go. There's my route. So this is my nighttime route. I already did my daytime route in Chico. And then there's some of them that I went to that during the day there was nobody there in their residences. And so I'm going to double back, do 2 attempts in one day, because I know most likely when I do a late night attempt on these ones, I'm going to get them. So I'm going to start because it's only 4:25. You see there my clock? Yeah, it's only 4:25. So I want to give myself a good 30 minutes. I don't know if it'll be 30 minutes or 20 minutes leeway time to my first stop. So I went ahead and started my route up here in Paradise, which is about 20-30 minutes away. So that gives me some leeway time. I'm going to get started now, and so I'll start making my first attempts in Paradise, and then I'll hit my Paradise, my Magalia. I have a posting up there in the boonies, and then come back down and finish the night here. So not a terrible amount of serves for the evening. It's only 11, but when you're getting, 99 bucks a pop, it's not too bad. So if I get all these guys served, we'll be doing pretty good for tonight. So, and we got some served this morning too, and I'm feeling like crap. So, actually, I'm feeling better thanks to modern medicine, and my healthy soda. I drink 7-Up. Diet 7-Up to be specific, and then I have my seeds. I want this to be as much reality as I can for you guys, so you guys can see kind of what it's like to go serving. Seeds are dangerous, okay? I only eat seeds on certain times because if I could go through a whole bag, one of the big bags in one day if I'm serving all day. So that's a lot of calories. Not just calories, but the sodium. Anyway, I won't get on my health kick with you guys. You're here for process serving. So before I leave, though, I'm going to show you guys what I do is after I put them all in, I put all my serves in, then I come over and I hit list. And you got to make sure your list is also mapped out. And it looks like it is. Honey Run Road is the first one in Paradise. Okay. So now I'm gonna go to the bottom of my list, and I'm gonna find the address for the one in the bottom, right? Fairgate. And then I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna find Fairgate, right? I'm not gonna show you that actually. Anybody who's watching this is considering becoming a process server. They're not gonna freak out about somebody's name. Excuse my sickness. Goodness. So what I do, actually I will show you. So what I do is I put my serves, I stack them up like this. Everybody does it different, okay? I'm just showing you how I do it. So I have all kinds of this stuff underneath my serves just in case I need a pencil or a pen. Or you can never have too many pins in your bucket, right? But then I come over here, I have them stacked up. I got my business wallet with all my business stuff, checks, whatnot, for court filings and stuff. But then if you look, I can see this here and I can see my serve. So then what I'll do is I'll come like this, Fairgate, and I can just kind of quickly go through and find, it'll probably be the last one, find Fairgate. Here it is, Fairgate. So I'll put Fairgate down at the bottom because it's my last one. Now, some people say, why don't you just look for them on each stop? I'm like, that would drive me nuts. So the next one is Chico River Road. So I come over here to Chico River Road. And the idea here is that you find a pattern that works for you so that when you're out there serving, of course, it's the last one. When you're out there serving, it's a system. So you can just mindlessly serve. I say mindlessly, like you're not so involved in the process of which serve is next and that type of stuff. You already know what serve is next. Now you just gotta, so I can focus on the actual serve itself. Like, who am I serving? What's the address? So that when I get to it, I know exactly which one it is, and I can get out and do it. Rather than each stop, you're having to reinvent the wheel each time. Oakdale Street. You're having to focus on how to get there and all that stuff, rather than just GPSing everything and then plugging it, looking at the serve. When I pull up, I'm looking at the details of the serve rather than the details of trying to get there, if that makes sense. Okay. So England. I have a good one for you guys tonight. If I get to it, England. If I get to it, it's going to be fun, this England one. Veterinarian person. Castle. She's been dodgy. Castle. I imagine if you're watching this, it's because you're chilling somewhere, hanging out, maybe doing a stakeout, or maybe you're just hanging out and you're interested in learning more about process serving. And if that's the case, you found the right guy, because I am putting out content like crazy trying to teach people how to do this. Castle, Cheltenham. And I figured it out. It's not hard to do this stuff. What becomes difficult is finding your niche, finding where you fit in this vast landscape of legal professionals. Let's see what my next one is. Cyprus, Maggie's. There you go, Maggie's. So this is my posting. Pearson. Here's Pearson. So once you get to the end, it becomes much easier. Elliott, Honey Run Road. And that's it. So now as I go, you'll see I just bang them out. I go boom. And I already did it, but let me just do it again. Navigate. It's going to think. I love the Waze app because I already have it set. If I start driving, it'll just go. Or I can hit go now and it'll come up. And Waze will actually tell you if there's a cop coming up, if there's a car on the side of the road. It tells you the quickest routes. It's really cool. It has errors and stuff. Look, see, there's something right there. Oh, it's Applebee's, I think. It has some errors. Like once you get into the country, it's not as accurate as some of the other ones like Scout, but definitely just as good as Google. So, all right, let me flip you around. Let's get going. So I have my thing. It says 24 minutes. That's perfect clock. So, and my first one looks like I've been there before. And there's a Honda in the driveway that doesn't get driven. Well, let's get going, and I can talk to you guys about a couple things that help you get started. So I just want to say that I'm no way an expert process server. Okay, I'm just that when I first started in 25 bucks each, and yeah, 25. And then she gave me a raise to like $27.50 because she reached half. Which, well, now that the business, something down to LA, 125. Well, 69 over like 15 to 20. So it's a much different game in different areas that you're in. Excuse me. But no matter what, you got to get out there and you got to serve. And the different areas have different challenges. one of the challenges with serving up here, these more mountainous areas that I'm in, is that you might drive, like right now I'm going to drive, my first stop is 23 minutes away. Round trip, if I was only going to do that one job, that'd be 46 minutes round trip. How much do you want to get paid per hour? And sometimes you only have one job in a particular area. So how much are you going to get paid for that one job? You got to ask yourself that kind of stuff. You got to know your value. And you got to build a brand. So many people want to be a commodity. They say, oh, I'm cheaper, I'm faster, and I'm cheaper, so everyone's going to pay. Everyone's going to be true. A lot of people, that's all they care about is it the cheapest? And that's because they're looking for a commodity. They want the paper delivered, and they don't care how you deliver it. All they know is that someone tells them, like a court, tells them that they have to have it delivered, and if they don't, their case can't move forward. So to them, there's no value. The only value is that you punch a clock and you get. So basically, you just have to know your worth, know your value, know how. And at first it might be hard. You might have to try a couple things, The first thing I would do if I had to start all over again, the first thing I would do is I would contact all the affiliates I could, and I would tell them, I am giving a major discount. Normally I charge $55, $59, whatever the going rate is, and then I would cut that in half for affiliates. Because that's the affiliate game. If you understand the affiliate game, they're getting the serve anyway. They're getting it from attorney A, and then attorney A is going to call them anyway most of the time, because if attorney A wanted to find the closest person, they probably would have found you on Google, right? But they went on Google maybe and they saw the first advertisements on there and they want the top company. So they're like, I want to see if this top company that has a higher insurance rate will be able to find a server there for me and help manage it, because they don't want to mess around with a server that doesn't know what they're doing, or a server that has an attitude and is full of themselves and stuff, which tends to be the case. So you got to know how to work with them. So they'd rather hire a customer support team that knows what they're doing than hire the individual. So what you have to do is you have to paint yourself a picture that your company is this big company, but that has the customer support team, but you choose to stay local. So many people try to grow bigger than they are, and they find themselves in a situation where they get put into a corner where the big companies are, but they don't have the funding to compete with the big companies. See, the big companies, whenever you see them at the top, any small attorney company isn't going to pick the big company because they want the cheapest rate. They just care about the cheapest rate. But the big attorney firms, they don't want the cheapest rate. They want the best quality of service. They want the best support team, support staff. And if you can provide that, if you can paint a picture that you can provide that until you can figure it out. When I first started, the only thing I knew, and I had just learned it, was how to serve a prejudgment, which turns out is one of the most complicated things in the industry. It's not that bad, but really there's not a whole lot of things that are more ambiguous than prejudgments and evictions. And it shouldn't be that difficult. So at psduniversity.com, I teach all about, I have a 7-day basic training. It's like $79, and I go through in 7 days, I go through the whole process where I teach you from beginning to end how to be a process server. I have a marketing fundamentals course. That's my next step. I think when somebody comes trained, then they should take the marketing fundamentals. And then, because the marketing is going to teach you how to grow your business, how to grow your business. I got a purge here, people. Yeah, traffic can get crazy out here. Chico on the freeway. So just being careful about how you get started, how you get set up. I love the idea of progression and moving forward. My third level is automation. You start out with the fundamentals. You got to learn how to do the job. You got to learn that if that phone rings, you pick it up no matter what. And I don't care if you're going number 2 in the bathroom. If that phone rings, you whisper. You do whatever you have to do. You pick up, because let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you a couple stories, since this is my long version of content here on YouTube. My first story that I'm going to tell you is, well, I don't know. I'm going to tell you this one story that I can think of right now, because when you become a process server, one time, okay, so I thought, there was this point in my life where I was in my apartment, low-income apartment. I just got a divorce. I'm like, what am I going to do? I got served divorce papers. I decided I'm going to papers. I was going to school full-time, too, so I get every day from people, because I made a Google listing, and then I wrote a little blog on my Google page, and I just updated it every day. And I started getting these phone calls. Like, one time an attorney called me while I was sitting in microbiology class. No, molecular biology. I had already taken micro. And so I was in molecular biology. I didn't need it. I was just taking another class until I could get into the nursing program, because it was very competitive. And I get this phone call, and this attorney wants me to drive his phone from the courthouse, because he left it at the courthouse, to where was that? Palermo or Palm Springs. Let me drive to Palm Springs. So I told him, man, that's gonna take me, like, I'm gonna have to miss my class. And like, I didn't tell him that stuff, but I was thinking that. I'm like, man, I'm gonna miss this class. I can't afford to miss one class. But I thought, I'm just gonna tell him some crazy amount, and if he says yes, I'll do it. And if he tells me no, then it wasn't meant to be. I tell him, listen, in order for me to drop everything else I'm doing and drive your phone to you, it's going to cost you $500, because I'm a busy guy. He was like, done. I don't care how much it costs. My phone, I need it brought to me today. So he said, do you have an email address? I'll email you the details. I said, yeah, sure. And I was kind of in shock, because I'm like, all right. So I just, so it's near San Francisco. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to go to San Francisco. I'm going to take my phone. I'm going to take this guy's phone to him. And I've been dating this girl after I got divorced. I've been dating this girl from down south. She's in Stockton area, Sacramento area. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna take her with me. Bad idea, guys. I'm not gonna go into dating advice here, but let's just say, never make your first date a 2-hour car ride. We were in the car for like 15 minutes, and she said, I don't really like to talk. And I was like, we're in the car together for 2 hours, right? And she's like, I just like to get to know people by being with them. And then she was just like really quiet and reserved, and I was like, man, I should have took her for ice cream instead of driving all over God's green earth with her. Anyway, bullet dodged. Anyway, so I went and dropped off the phone, dropped her off, came back. The next day when I went to my class, I was sitting there, and the pothead next to me, who normally knew none of the answers in our other science classes, he knew all the answers in this molecular biology. He was like raising his hand and like knowing all the answers, and I was like, I was clueless. I had no idea what was happening and what was going on with what the problems they were doing on the board and what was expected of us. And then lo and behold, I get another phone call while I'm in that same class. Mind you, I had like 5 classes. While I'm in that same class for another job that just had to be done that day at the courthouse, and they didn't care how much it cost. And mind you, at that time I was going to school to try to be a nurse, and the nursing program was like another 2 years if I got accepted. And I had a friend named Craig who was a great nurse, and he was doing a good job. He was a great guy. and it's one of the reasons he's one of the guys that inspired me to become a nurse. And he was making about $4,500 a month at that time. And me just doing this part-time for just like 2 or 3 hours a day in the evenings, and then I had a couple big jobs. After doing it for like 3 months, I was making like 4,000 something, almost $5,000 a month. So I decided after that, I'm like, what the heck am I doing? If I did this full time, I could make $20,000 a month easily. It's not necessarily true, because most of your serves happen in the evening, but that was my reasoning, that was my thought. So I said, okay. I was like, I'm dropping out. So I dropped out of Chico State University, $700 per class per semester. So now I owe like $51,000 in school, and it's not a big deal. It's like $300 a month that I have to pay for a bunch of science classes that I'm never gonna, or at least I don't think I'm ever gonna use. So now I'm headed up to Paradise. The other story I wanted to tell you, and I think I've told this before, but I'll tell it again, is every client matters. When I first started, I had a couple big clients that would send me, it seemed like they sent me a job a day, almost every single day. And I remember thinking like, man, if I just had 4 or 5 more of these clients, then I would reach my, 20, 30 grand a month. And so what I did was I went out and just started trying to get attorneys, visiting their offices and stuff. And I got this one attorney that would send me something consistently every month. They'd send me 1 job or maybe 2 jobs every single month. And I just really liked them. They were really cool people. And so I decided what I was going to do is I was always going to treat that customer like my greatest customer. I like took their invoices and I signed them. I put thank you and I signed them and I sent them to them. And the paralegal, I always wanted to get a wow out of this one customer. And I tried to do that with all the customers, but with this one customer, there was something about him, and I just was like, you know what? I don't want to ever treat my smaller customers like they're not as important. Like, they're only giving me 1 job. How hard is it to knock it out of the park for just 1 job? So all of my 1 job customers, I would always just like try to slam dunk it. So when they got their proof of service, I wanted to receive no less than a wow in my reply. And when I did that, telling you, $500 a month customers that I would get like between $100 and $500 a month every month from them. That's what I was going for. Was nothing compared to the customer that I got. So I had one customer this one a month customer. There were 2 attorneys in that office, and the paralegal that sent me the job, she actually did the paralegal stuff for both attorneys. But one of the attorneys all he did was collections. And he had his collection company dispatching serves directly. So they had another process server, basically, that was serving all those collection papers. And then she contacts me, or she's always raving about how awesome I am. So that transitioned into her telling nobody could get it served in the hills, he couldn't serve it. And then they said, why don't you see if Michael could serve it? He's always serving everybody. So I'm like, all right, I'll go serve it. So I went and served this one eviction. And it was hard. I had been there a bunch of times, and I knocked on the door, and this girl would answer. She was like from Russia or something. I think she might have been like, I felt like she was like his slave or something, because she was afraid to talk to me. And she didn't speak good English, but he did. And he wouldn't ever come to the door. Like, I served him a notice. That's how I knew what he looked like and what he sounded like. I served him a notice the first time. And then I had to go back and serve the eviction paperwork. And when I did that, I couldn't get him. I kept going there and I couldn't get him. And so one day I go there and I'm talking to her and I'm like, are you want some help? Or, are you safe and stuff? And she's like hiding like behind the door. She's like, yeah, I think I'm okay. And I said, is he here right now? Like, I'm whispering. Like, she's like, And she goes, yeah, he's here, real quietly. And so I'm like, can you open the door? And I could there in the living room, and he's like sleeping on the chair, conked out. So I go in the house. I've never done this since, but I walked in the house, and I kicked his chair, and I go, good morning, you're served. And I dropped it on his chest, and I waited for him to like look up and go, what the F you doing in my house? I said, man, you're served. And you have 5 days to file an answer, and if you don't, the sheriff will be back out here to put another paper on your door with a big star on it, and then you're gonna get evicted. I said, I'm just a delivery guy, but that's how it is. And he's like all pissed off, but he's half asleep, and like, so I pieced out. And when I told him, the attorney, this, they were rolling in their chairs laughing. And so the attorney, about 2 weeks later, the collections attorney, he said, Michael, can I talk to you for a second? Would there be a way for you to serve a higher volume? Do you have a staff? Do you have people that can serve higher volumes of serves? And I was like, yeah, definitely. We have a team. Yeah, all over the area we serve, from Shasta County all the way down to Yuba City. And he's like, oh, awesome. That's actually where we serve. And I was like, I did the research. I know that. So he turned around and said, I'm going to talk to the ladies at my collection bureau and see if they want to give you a shot. So I get a phone call out of the blue another 2 weeks later, something like that, from Mindy. And she's like, yeah, I heard a lot of good things about you. I wanted to see how much you guys charge. So I told her how much we charge. I gave her the affiliate rates because I wanted to get the contract, and I didn't know how much to charge, but I knew I had to give them some kind of discount, because anytime you're dealing with bulk, you got to do a discount, because these guys were prepaying. These collection companies will write you a check for $7,000 and send you a couple hundred serves. They'll pay you up front, right? So this is the kind of customer that you want, that pays up front. I'm almost to my first attempt here. I'm getting more stuffy. So anyway, treating that one customer like they were my only customer, and every job like it's my only job. Now, how do I do that? I automate things. And the third step to my plan for success for a legal support company is automation. You have to have all three pieces. You have to have the process server basic training. I believe you could take 7 days, take my course, and in 7 days be able to serve papers safely and efficiently after taking the 7-day course. Then you take a 30-day course. I know it's a lot more, but that marketing is so important. If you don't know how to market yourself, you're not going to go anywhere. So basic fundamentals of providing the proper service, and you're going to learn most of it by doing. The 7-day course is really to get you started and to teach you how to do the actual job, how to complete a proof of service. And then the second part of it is the marketing, is a 30-day course where I walk you step by step how to build a website, how to market that website, and how to begin the relationship process with your customers. You'd be surprised, even some of the biggest companies don't know about this. One Legal, they got it down. They actually pay a marketer hundreds of thousands of dollars every year who this is all they do is marketing and getting hooks, web hooks, getting people to give you their email address in exchange for some kind of value. And once they do that, you can start to nurture that relationship. So I go through all of that in my marketing fundamentals course, where I teach you step by step, and then how, once you have a customer, how do you remarket to that customer? This is how businesses scale. Like, you're not going to be able to do this and serve all the papers yourself, okay? This 30-day marketing plan is assuming that you're going to want to grow your business more. So a lot of people just go back in and they retake the same marketing course over and over and over. They go back and they go, I don't need that part right now, Michael. I'm like, yeah, you don't need it right now, but you're gonna need it in the future. So what you do is, because as a part of the marketing fundamentals, I add you to the PSD University Mastermind, where I post things on there constantly. People ask questions on there. Server Nation is another one. It's a public one that I have. People ask questions on Facebook groups, and they get a lot of feedback. So, but the idea is, for instance, the email marketing, you get the email. So let's say you have a small company. Time is an interesting thing. It has a way of compounding. So like, when you're out serving and you're going out serving and everything, if you have an online plan, an online marketing plan, it'll be running in the background on its own. You just have to set it up. Like, if you started today, started marketing, doing online marketing, a year down the road when you decide you want to scale, you might have 1,000 emails built up in there. Do you realize what 1,000 emails could do for you? You send out 1,000 emails that you're going to give a discount in the month of May. Next month we're going to give a discount on all of our services. If they've been using somebody else for the cheaper price, this is your opportunity to be the commodity for them, because they're not thinking about the right things. They're only thinking about the price and maybe how. So what you have to do is show them your price is a little bit higher normally, but your business is so much better. Like, your brand is better. Like, you have this brand that makes people want to like you and use your services. And if you understand that, then you can just take it from there. You say, okay, I have a brand, and I'm going to say, hey, I know you've probably been using, or I don't know. If you're going to send it to a bulk list, then you got to be somewhat general and just say, hey guys, we're running a promotion, assuming they're your customer. Hey, as an appreciation to our customers and everyone in the legal community, we're giving 5% off, maybe 20% off on all of our services during the month of May. And then you have a bunch of little links for them to click on, little video for them to watch, little hooks. Get your free ebook, get your free this, get your free that. So many people, when they market, they just say, hey, we've been in business a long time, use us. Who cares? How are you providing service to them? It's not about you, it's about them. And as soon as you understand that, then you understand why your brand matters. I talk about all this in the marketing fundamentals thing, and I go into detail. I actually show you on my screen how to do it step by step. So it looks like I'm at my first serve here. 38:45. 88. Oh yeah, I remember this one. Yeah, I remember you. It was kind of creepy. I remember they didn't answer the door. But I'm back. There's a big old dog in there, if I remember correctly. There's an extra car here that wasn't here before. Last time I was here, the screen door was shut, but the door was open. I always put my clipboard. I take the field sheet off. Put my field sheet on the clipboard, and I have the paper ready to go in case I need to just kick it out. What is today? Today's the 10th. Anytime I line through something, I always initial it. Exit interview. Let's see what we can do. The clipboard is a good thing to have too for defense. You can put it up in between you and the dog, and it'll distract them from biting you. All right. Got a delivery from Mr. Anderson? There's another door over here. Hello? Alright. Excuse me. So there's a lot to be said about the law of attraction. Like, I'm not gonna get all spiritual on you, but there's a lot to be said about what is your true desire to serve something. Like, I find it funny whenever I'm really thinking about serving it. Like, I just want to get them all served today. It's interesting how it seems to just happen. Like, there's been days where I've served literally, like, I think it was like 46 serves in one day. Like, I did my morning route, I did my night route, and I think all of them but like one. There were like 4 bad addresses, and then there was like one that just had no answer. The neighbors didn't know them, and it was kind of out of luck. So, but that many, like, I just have to keep coming back on that one. But sometimes it's the law of attraction is like, what is your intention? Is your intention just to make your attempts, or is it your intention to serve? If it's my intention to serve every single one of them, then why wouldn't I do everything I possibly can legally on each and every attempt that I make? Like, so many times process servers will send back diligence, and I've been guilty of this in the past, that says no answer. Are you kidding me? You got out of the car, and went boom, 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 and ran back to the car and left? There was no answer. Like, right now I'm sitting here looking at 2 cars. Looks like I already got the license plate from the silver Honda, but this van is new. The van doesn't look like it gets driven. GMC. It says truck. How weird. GMC truck, but it's a van. Weird. It looks like an Astro van. I'm gonna put Astro van. And then I'm gonna put the license plate. And I always put what the state is because it matters. When you go to do a plate search, it has to match. Oh, I think my guy's here. Oh, there he is. Delivery for William Anderson? I was like, dang, I've been here like 5 times. Parked in your driveway. I thought you guys were open. You William? Yeah. Nope, yes. Have a good day. There you go. Perfect example. It's my true intention to get it served, and what happens? What happens? As I'm sitting here in the driveway, they pull up. Here I am, the schmuck parked in their driveway. Yeah, it's generally a bad idea to park in people's driveway. But when you're up here in the hills, you almost have no choice sometimes. So I wrote down some diligence. So always take the extra moment. I'm gonna buckle here. And then I'm gonna pull into this parking lot. And I'm going to put in my diligence. And I gotta tell you, it's probably one of the most important things you can do. Because you figure, I'm gonna go make, 11 stops today? If I don't stop and put in my diligence now, and then I go serve another, 11 things, sometimes it's 30, 40 things, I'm not gonna remember this one stop. And if I do, if I make this type of thing a habit, then I might have 10, 20, 30 things that I did this on, and I didn't put the true diligence on. So take the extra time. I'm going to see if I can do it while I'm living right now. So you might be staring. I hope. Otherwise, you're staring at my face like this for a while. So, yeah, I'm getting phone calls. I'm doing my thing here. So we'll see how this works. I'm going to keep it going. And, if I have to delete it later because it's garbage, then I will. But hopefully somebody gets something out of it. If you guys are watching. So I want to make a point. So you remember when I told you that I set my GPS and I planned out my night by leaving town, Chico, by 4:30 so that I could be to my first attempt around 5 o'clock? I actually made it to my first attempt just before 5. And what happened after I sat around for about 15 minutes talking to you guys, talking about the intention to get something served, does it actually get served? It's now 5:08. And the guy came home at like 5:05, 5:04. So you see how that works? You don't want to just go out, get a serve, and then just go out and try to serve it. At first, you might have to do that to figure out the times. But once you figure out your prime times to make your attempts, go during those times. Don't waste your time going back to the same address 50 times for nothing. If you've already, and this is the other thing, if you've already been there during prime time, 2 times, I do a evening attempt. Early evening attempt, like 5:30 or 5, like where I am now. Then I do like 8:30, 8 to 9 attempt, a late 9 attempt, right? And then after that, I'm like, okay, neither of those things worked. I go an afternoon attempt, a morning attempt, and then on my 5th attempt, I include 5 attempts. On my 5th attempt, I decide, well, maybe I didn't get a weekend in there. I throw in a weekend, always a weekend, at least 1 weekend attempt, if not 2. So, yeah, so plan your route. Be very methodical about where you go and when you go. I just entered in the service details, and I dispatched using Serve Manager. I dispatched the order directly to, not the order, the service details to the customer and to my wife, who does all the proofs. I sent it automatically just by checking their names next to their names, all the service details. So their proof will be ready for me to sign tomorrow. The customer knows in real time via email that I just served it. If you guys want Serve Manager, you could go. They're one of my sponsors for one of my podcasts. You guys could go to processserverdaily.com/serve manager. processserverdaily.com/serve manager. And you can get like 14 days for free. And then if you like it, then you're like, I want to keep going with it. They're going to give you another 60 days for free, because for my listeners of my podcast. So I like to share that as much as I can. I don't get anything for that yet. That's just to let them know that my partnership with them is valued, is valuable. So, and they're sponsoring my show. Let's see, Elliott Road. Okay, so I already went to this. What I like to do is I put in however much details, at least the date and the time on here, and then I put a big star. Let's see what it's today. So I just 7:12. Yeah, today is 7:10. 7:10. I knew that. 7:10:18. Like 5:05. Personal service, baby. Then I put a big old Star of David on the bottom. You know, it's just quick and easy, something quick and easy to do that's different, so people know that it's in the system. That's why I do that. Okay, on to the next one. So what's cool is, let me turn this around. What's cool is what I do is I go ahead and hit check-in. And you can do this on your cell phone too, right? You can do it on your cell, but I like having my cell phone as a separate thing. So I hit, oops, okay, let me go back. So I already hit check-in because I'm kind of in autopilot here. But I had this one up and I hit check-in and it goes away and then it automatically queues up the next one like that. So that's my next serve. So now I'm gonna go navigate. And that's the Road Warrior app. Really good app to use if you're out here serving. So what it does is it helps you navigate, figure out your plan, and then Waze app will then tell you, navigate you. So the Road Warrior app tells you where to go, and the Waze app tells you how to get there. So it looks like this one's really close by. I always like to look at it as I'm going here, making sure I'm on the right track, making sure I'm not like, because sometimes the GPS, you can't trust it completely. It'll take you on a whole crazy baton death march if you're not careful. So, all right, let's hit it. Paradise is a very mountainous range, so I have to be really careful that, you know, there's, it's like 45 miles an hour and people go 65, so you have to be careful. Cars are driving like whizzing by. I like the area though. It's like very it's very trees everywhere. Like it's against the law to cut down a tree up here because, you know, they want to preserve the forest feel. And about once a year they get evacuated because there's a fire. About once a year. So I think, so this is, you know, usually I don't like to bring people with me because this is my desk here next to me, and a lot of times when people are sitting here, it's like this, like, can you give me the next one? Like, I have a routine down, and I've thought about putting together or building some kind of like a little desk. I have a friend that does appraisals on accidents and stuff. He owns a business, and he actually has this like desk that has all like paper clips and stuff, and his seat belt, it wraps around it and it buckles. It has a little thing to put the seatbelt in, and it actually buckles. And it just, I'm like, dude, like that is way cool, but too much. Because I like to take my bucket in the office, and then like I can't imagine toting around this big giant thing or emptying it. But anyway, to each his own. These guys are all over the place. So here we go. People trying to cut me off. So yeah, so I enjoy serving papers. It's one of the things that, you know, I love my podcast. I love interviewing and meeting new people and learning new things. But I gotta tell you, there's something about getting out and serving papers that it just lights a fire under you. It makes you wanna, because you meet new people too, but it's a challenge sometimes. You know, when I have those moments where I just serve all of them, I'm happy, I'm excited for the money, but it wasn't a challenge. You know, when they're a challenge, like I have a couple here tonight that are challenges, so I'm excited to try them. But the ones that are challenges are a lot of fun because other people probably wouldn't have gotten it served. Like you just know, like you go out there and you think, like there's a gate. Most people go, there's a gate, sorry. No, man, I'm gonna get through that gate. I'm gonna get my car on the other side of that gate, and I'm gonna drive up to the house, and everybody's gonna be like, how the heck did you get on our property? Listen, the real question is, why are you trying to evade service? It's illegal to evade service. You know that, right? I always ask people, like, did you know that it's against the law to evade me? It's to try to run from what I'm trying to give you? Did you know you're breaking the law? Now, I don't at all try to tell people they're breaking the law. I ask questions. And a lot of times they'll get defensive, or they'll say, I know I'm not, but I wasn't doing that. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so great. I knew you wouldn't. I knew you wouldn't. You know, you're an upstanding citizen. You own this business in town. Then they start to realize how much I actually know about them. Like where they go to church. Like, I know that you go to the, Mormon church, and you're a local business owner, and you're on the board of the Chamber of Commerce. Like, I knew you were a good guy. And they're just like, oh crap, I'm so glad that he made it in here and didn't serve me in front of my yuppie friends, So it's important to have fun at whatever you do, and to find your happy place. But if you're not getting out there and having fun, you better find something else to do. A lot of the people that I serve, they thank me for serving them. And it sounds weird, or sounds like kind of... They do. They thank me. They say, well, thank you. How funny. Alright. So, the signal's kind of spotty up here, but for the sake of this experiment, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it run. Alright. So, I just served this one. And because I had no signal, I left you in the car, but I actually almost got bit just now. Like, I got out of the car, knocked on the door, and I could tell the front door wasn't being used on a regular basis because the spider web got me in the face. And then I knocked on the door. I thought they'd probably go in through the side door. And there's something about certain properties I could tell there's a dog, because there would be grass everywhere except one area, like a trail where the dog obviously runs all the time. Or if it seems very gravelly, like something's always scratching at the ground and stuff. You just get to tell after a while. You know places that look like they have dogs. You just know. And I used to carry a taser around all the time, but I've taken some trainings. My wife's a dog trainer too. I've taken some trainings about how to deal with dogs, how to keep them at bay, and like to look bigger, and to not show fear and stuff like that. And the idea is, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, a dog is more afraid of you than you are of them, and they're trying to protect their territory. So if you don't advance on them, but at the same time you don't run from them, they'll stay in one spot and bark at you. And that's a good place to be in, because then you can start slowly backing up to your car and get in your car. In this case, I heard the dog coming out, and he sounded like he was a growl, like rah, and I was like, oh crap. So I booked it to the car. I always put my car where it's not too far from where I'm at. I don't usually get too much further than 20, 30 feet from my car. And sometimes that puts me in a situation where I have to say, oh, I'm so sorry for parking in your driveway. Oh, I'm so sorry for, some people say, oh, don't ever park in someone's driveway. It's like, when you're serving in the mountains, like I do all the time, you're driving up people's driveways. Otherwise, you got to walk up that driveway, first of all. Second of all, if you had to run from something, you better just tuck and roll down that hill, because it's like a mountain that you have to climb. It's like this. I'll park in your driveway all day long, and I'll apologize. And I'll say I'm sorry. I don't mind doing that, and saying like, I have no problem doing that. So we'll have to see where things go here tonight. But I personally served them both. So the dog came after me. What happened was, they let their dog outside. They know somebody's knocking, and instead of keeping the dog in to see who's there, she peeked out the window after the dog was already outside barking at me. These are the kinds of people that end up getting sued served by a process server. Like, I'm not about to sue anybody. I just want to serve them and leave them. So it looks like I'm here at Newland Road. Yeah, Paradise. I'll show you guys a little bit of Paradise as we go. I'm going to lose signal here and there, though. So... So if you're still with me today, then you guys are troopers. You're really serious about doing this process serving thing. I just passed somebody's house, I know. Think about stopping and saying hi. All right. You gotta watch it. All these roads are up and down roads. So this next one here, see, I already know where I'm going because my GPS is telling me where to go. So now I'm looking down here at my notes. It says Addy confirmed. So I confirmed the address somehow. John. Just all right, and then I can look at the address 930. Another situation. I know how I confirm the address. They have a big sign on the front. It's an American flag. This is. It says love on it. Oh shoot! I almost hit that tree. Alright, let's try not to make any terrible mistakes here today. No more dogs biting me. It's got United States Navy. That's cool. I'm gonna flip you guys around. Bear with me. I'm gonna change the date on the summons. John Joseph Love. Try this. Hello. Hi. I've got delivery for John. All right. Looks like it's Butte County Credit Bureau. Something to do with medical bills, probably. Do you have any questions? All right. Have a good day. So I just served that one personally to Mr. Love. All right. So I already took a photograph of it. I'm just gonna come over here. I'll show you this real fast. I got my little camera there showing what's behind me. I already checked in, so now I'm going to go to the next. So see what I'm saying? I don't have to think about it because I set it up in the beginning. Having some issues here. Here we go. I just forget it. 3 minutes. All right, it's going to. Actually, before I get going, I don't know if you guys saw me serving John, but it's simple, it's easy breezy. I gotta go. So you just missed another one because there's no signal up here in the middle of nowhere. I taped it on the house, but it's crazy. Some of these places seem so creepy. Like this one right here, I get such an eerie feeling about. The first time I came here, I knocked on the door to this eviction. I just did a posting here. There's something weird about it anyway, because there's already a sheriff's eviction where they evicted everybody on the window. But here I am posting an eviction notice, or eviction unlawful detainer. So either somebody got their wires crossed and I'm posting something when I didn't need to, or someone messed up the case and so they're having to post it again. Either way, I just get this eerie feeling, because the first time I went there, this guy came out and I was like, yeah, I'm looking for Raymond. And he goes, okay. And I said, are you Raymond? And he goes, no. I go, is Raymond here? He goes, I don't know. I said, well, you just came out of the front door. Is there anybody else inside? I don't know. And then this woman comes out and she says, I said, do you know Raymond? And she says, how do you know I'm not Raymond? So then I say, okay, well, I have to deliver this notice, so I'm just gonna go ahead and tape it right here, and you guys can take it down after I leave, but I gotta tape it. And then I'm gonna mail one. Since Raymond's not here, I gotta tape it. They go, okay, so they both go out on the porch like to stand behind me while I'm posting it. I'm like super sketch. So I'm like, luckily what I do before I even get out of the car is I put tape on my notices, and then like I put tape on the corners, and if it's a big notice, like it has a bunch of packets, I have my staff or I staple the tops of it so that when I go to tape it, the back of it doesn't fall out. Any of you who've done this before know what I'm talking about. You got to staple both tops, and then you tape it. You could just have the tape sitting there like that, and then when you go up, you can walk up with one hand and go whoosh, whoosh. And so that's what I did. I didn't have to worry about them standing behind me, because I just walked up and went whoop whoop, and then I went back off the porch where I could see them, and then I took a picture of it without them in the picture. I try not to include people in the picture if they have nothing to do with the case. However, if I feel that you are the person and you're lying to me, well, I'm gonna get all kinds of pictures, and I'm gonna get video, and I'm gonna get, maybe even try to rile you up a little bit to admit who you are. And I've had people do that. I pull out the camera and I go, okay, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and record this just because I don't think you're telling the truth. And if you're lying to me, then it's a misdemeanor, and that because you're evading service. And usually they'll change their tune, or they'll say, just give me the papers, man, stuff like that, which is good for me, because I'm like, haha, you sucker, you're served. I don't say it like that. I don't do that. That's how I feel. I don't try not to say that unless they really got to me. It's only been a couple times where I did the flutter. I call it the flutter because it's like probably the most outrageous thing I do as a process server. If somebody gets on my nerves, I'll take the paper. Not gets on my nerves, but if I find out it is them and they're trying to get away, instead of drop serving it, I like to do the flutter because it's more dramatic. I take the paper where the staple's at from the top, and you got to practice it, but you take it and you go. What happens is it goes like a little bird, and it literally flies for a second in their face. I try not to hit their face. I just try to like flutter it up at them, because there was something in New York where like they came up with a law that you didn't actually have to touch them with the papers. You used to have to do that, but they came with a law you don't have to do that anymore, because people were throwing the papers and hitting people. Like they'd throw them at them just so they could get them served, and so you don't want to hit people. You get sued. Yeah, $1 million paper cut. I can't afford that. That's for sure. Get through a red light here. All right, so I gotta go into a nursing home. So I don't think I'm gonna take you guys in there, because I have to be really sly. If I go in the nursing home, first of all, if it's a patient, I just I go in there and I tell them who I am and that I have a delivery and hopefully I can get it served. Because frankly, I don't like serving old people. But if it's an employee, which in this case it is, I gotta be sly because they'll say, "Oh, you can't do that here. You have to do that off work, during non-work premises, non-work time." But the reason why I don't want to go on YouTube Live is because I'm going into a healthcare facility, and someone might be saying people's names or something. So I don't want to risk that. So, but I'm almost there. You guys, when you go out there, you gotta remember, this is the legal industry. Some of these guys forget this. I guess I forget it sometimes too. I have to be reminded. Everybody's trying to find a reason to sue somebody. And our job depends on it, right? So don't be the guy that gets sued, I guess is what I'm saying, is don't be the guy that gets sued. So here I am, find a place to park here. See if I can pause this thing. Alright, I'm a visitor. Don't be parking in the handicap parking spaces, guys. Come on. I see people do that. I've done it. I feel like crap for it after, and I don't do it anymore because, like, I'm a big guy, and so I like to use the handicap bathrooms, sometimes, the big ones. And one time, I'll never forget this. One time I came out of the handicap bathroom, and there was a guy in a wheelchair waiting for me to come out. And he was like, looked like he had to go. He was a young guy, looked like he might have been a vet. I still think about that, man. These people that are handicapped, their lives are much harder than ours. We need to not park in their spaces. I don't care if they got 50 of them. Like Walmart, they're one of the reasons why people park in handicapped spaces sometimes. You don't put all of your spaces in front of your building handicapped. There's like 50 of them. It's crazy. It's still not okay though, guys. Don't park in handicaps. So I'm in a visitor park. Double park or park on the red curb before you do that. What I'll do is I'll take my little badge here, my ID, and I'll put it on my mirror and put it on the dash. And that's saved me a couple times. People are like, it looks official. It says county, county of Butte, People are like, oh, okay, he's doing something official here. And I'm only in there for 5 seconds. Diet 7-Up. If a doctor will give it to you, it's good to drink. Okay? That's not completely true, but I'm actually going to take you guys in and see if I can do this. See if we can do it. Somebody left their key in the car. Anybody here on that Explorer right there?
Huh?
Yeah. That's yours?
Oh, down there? No.
No, okay. Hi. I just got out of the car. There's an Explorer right there.
Okay.
And this key was just hanging in it outside the door.
Really?
Yeah.
That
That bird.
I appreciate it.
It's that burgundy one right there, or whatever color that is, that red one.
Wow.
I don't know if it's someone who works here. It's on the passenger side too, so I thought maybe someone was getting their loved one out or something. So I have a delivery for a Sierra. Sierra Robles? Robles?
Let me see if she's here.
Okay. So many people. You guys just having a big party here, huh? All kinds of people having fun, and some people had not so much fun. This is pretty cool. A little painting right here. Oh, it's a puzzle. That's neat. Pretty neat.
So she's not here. What's the delivery?
Yeah, so I've been here a couple of times. It's a personal matter for her, but I've been to her house a few times, and they said that she works here. So, are you the manager on duty, or?
No, I'm HR.
Okay, usually that's actually who they send me to.
It's like I'm HR. I'm just training now. I'm the lucky one that gets to train the new evening
How
receptionist.
funny!
So, yeah, as you can see.
I'd be
HR.
willing to give it to you if you can make sure she gets it. But otherwise, I have to keep coming here until until I can find her. It's called subservice. It's a legal document.
Okay. The one thing I can do is check to see when she's supposed
Yeah,
to
and
be
then I
working
can come right before, and then I can catch her before she comes in, or however.
Thank you. Then, let me just go check the schedule.
Okay. So you're new, huh?
Yeah, I started yesterday.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
So you pretty much all this is unfamiliar, pretty much.
pretty much.
Nice.
I'll get used to it.
Do you answer the phones?
Yeah.
Do you transfer the lines? Oh wow. That alone is a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to school?
Yes, I'm going to Butte.
Oh nice.
To be at the elementary school.
Oh wow.
It's a little different, but
It's good for people with nice teeth.
yeah.
If you didn't have nice teeth, it'd be like,
You okay now?
are you gonna? So the hygienist is the one that actually cleans the teeth, right? And then the person that, yeah, and then the dentist.
Yeah. The dentist goes in like checks for cavities.
So I have a couple of really good friends that are dentists. Gary
Hey, John.
Johnson, he's got the Johnson here in Chico, and then Bo Hunter here. They go to my church.
So she's gonna be working the morning shift here on
Morning.
Thursday the 12th. So that'll be 6:30 to 3.
Oh, wow, it's early.
Yeah, so 6:30 a.m. to 3 p.m.
3 p.m. And then you'd rather do that, so she doesn't, so you don't have to get involved.
I
Yeah.
can just imagine what sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's,
I mean,
yeah.
as long as you're okay with that, and if anything, I mean, I'll be here starting at 8 on Thursday.
Okay, so I'll
So
just,
if you wanna even come
at
at
8:30.
8:30-ish,
Then if she's like, or whatever, she happens to be gone, then I can.
then you can just come to me, and then
Okay.
at least she's working that day.
And what's your name again?
Julianne. You're the lucky one that gets to talk to the HR gal.
Right? You get
That's
trained.
the receptionist.
But you know that HR really isn't supposed to train people. They're like the ones that say, you're 10 or not 10, you know.
Well,
Could
they
be
hired
four.
me here originally for a staffing assistant and an evening receptionist, and then I got promoted into HR, which is awesome. So I used
HR is
to do
awesome.
this. Yeah, I used to do this when I first started, and I've actually been doing the evening reception 2 times a week for the last month and a half. So
Oh, wow.
I've been doing like 12-hour days.
Wow, that's good though. I mean,
It's exhausting, not gonna lie.
when they depend on you though, you have a job.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. I've been trying to help out, but at this point, like with my car accident that I've had a couple years ago, I'm kind of maxed out.
Jeez.
Like my pain sitting for 12 hours, it's kind of a lot. So
Man.
I've kind of hit my limit now.
Are you doing better now?
No.
Yeah, no.
Like my pain's like 6 out of 10 right now.
Oh no, are you taking anything?
Yes.
Ibuprofen.
Yeah,
I
Tylenol.
had a traumatic brain injury, so
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it was a pretty bad one.
Well, we've been communicating pretty good. So,
Hey, you know what? I'm blessed considering everything that I went through. You would never know anything that happened.
was it car? Or?
Yeah, I was at a red light in Sacramento, and the yellow rated me at 90 miles an hour.
Oh my gosh, Sacramento's crazy.
It is. That's why I love that here.
Yeah.
I moved up here.
Oh, you live down there?
I did up
Wow.
until November of last year. I moved up here because my boyfriend
Wow.
lives here, and I was commuting every weekend.
Yeah.
And I finally was like, no, I'm just gonna move. And
Yeah,
I
it's
love
so
it.
much. I mean, I drive Paradise. It's just beautiful. The trees and Magalia. And then Chico is the city of trees, and it doesn't even have as many trees as Paradise, but it's still nice. And
I
so
like it. I do miss, like, and I go to Roseville quite a bit because I miss the shopping and restaurants.
Roseville's nice.
Plus my friends and family are all there, so it's hard. But I'm like, it's only an hour and a half. But some days, I can't even make that hour and a half drive
Yeah.
because I'm in too much pain.
Well, when I was dating, I'm married now, but when I was dating, I remember going to Roseville to a party, and on the way back, I was like, never again.
Yeah.
Not for a party. Never again.
No, I love it though. It's close enough where it's good, and thankfully my boyfriend's nice enough where he'll just, chauffeur me to and from. So,
Yeah.
but it gets hard. But
Yeah.
yeah. So come back on Thursday. Like I said, I'll be here at 8.
Okay.
So if anything, even at that point, if she's busy doing something,
Yeah.
you can at least give it to me at that point.
Yeah. The goal is to be discreet as possible. That's why I'm like, yeah, I'll come Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. I can, even if you wanted to, like, go in my office because I'm right down E,
Mhm.
so it's not in front of
Okay.
everyone.
All right.
So
Well, this young lady here is going places. I can tell.
yes, I'm super grateful for her.
Yeah.
Can you see my smile? Because I was like, this means I don't have to do overtime anymore.
Well, and you can count on her for future smiles because she's doing the dental thing.
Yes.
She's like, I didn't tell her. All right, you guys.
Okay, well, have a good night.
Yep, have a good night. Nice to meet you.
You know what you girls do?
That went on for a while. But the beauty is, you go in there, you talk to people, you get to know people. Like, she's the HR person. I've never met her before, but really sweet person, and went through some pretty bad stuff in her life. I kind of wanted to shut off the video because I'm going to get involved in her personal life on YouTube, but it's a good example of how when you're out here serving, you get to meet people. A couple really pretty ladies, I've always liked to talk to them. I'm not a man whore, I guess my wife says I used to be, but I do love the company of the beautiful women, and my wife, I love her dearly, and she does so much for me, and so it's not like a sexist thing, but I definitely enjoy the company of people that are like-minded, that are happy, they want to enjoy their life, and I guess that's really what it comes down to. So I got some good information. If you guys heard, first of all, the HR lady's name is Julianne Fisher. So if I come back next time and I have an issue, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name drop. So Julianne said that I'd be able to get a hold of Sierra here today. And they're going to say, whoa, Julianne, we know her. She's HR. She's the one paying our bill, paying the checks, right? Or the one who hired us. And then if Sierra's there, they're going to just go get her. I'm not going to have to jump up through hoops again. This time I had to kind of suave my way in there. And the new girl was just all smiles because she's new. She's just trying to make a good impression. So I'm going to circle this Thursday. What is Thursday? Today's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So 10, 11, 12. So the 12th. So 7/12, I need to go back here. And that's one way you can do this. And then I put a big star here. And I put Thursday at the very top. Because I always flip through my stuff looking at addresses. This will help me. Let me just show you. Thursday AM. Put it on top. I know it's not the best way to do it. But I also put all the deets right there, right? Thursday, 6:30. And then I put the dates and times of all my attempts. And this was actually done using an old software. It's an old serve. We went to the home address a bunch of times. Now we're going to the business where she works. Because apparently the home address was no good. So I'll have to come back to that another time. Looks like my next one is about 10 minutes away. It's the next little town up. So let's hit it. So I want to point out too, like, I saw that key in the side of this car, and frankly, I might have done these people a disservice, because nobody around here is going to take that key and run off with it probably. This is a nursing home. There's cameras and stuff. So I brought the camera in there and gave it to the front ladies, but right away, when I walked in the door, I walked in with value. Like, how do you bring value to some company that you're about to serve one of their employees? It's almost never. But here I am able to walk in there and say, be the kind, and that's probably why I got started off on such a good foot with those ladies, is they're like, oh, what a nice, sweet man, you know, going out of his way to make sure these old people don't lose their key to their Explorer, you know. And that's true. I was like, well, okay, well, I could leave it there, or I could take it and drop it off at the desk. If I drop it off at the desk, I know nobody's gonna take it. No one's gonna steal it. So there you go. And it looked like it had a bunch of stuff in it too. So if somebody stole that card, they'd probably steal all the guy's stuff. You know, I just imagine some old guy with his wife. He's going there to visit his wife. Probably took her out to lunch. Now he's dropping her off, and he lives out of his car. His car gets stolen with all his stuff in it, and he can't afford to be in there. He's already paying for his wife to be in there. He can barely afford that. It's a pretty sad story I just came up with. So no matter where you're at in your business right now, whether you're just starting out, whether you haven't even started yet, or whether you have some big mammoth of a company, you can take something from what I'm teaching. It doesn't matter. The truth is, process serving is a dying industry. Now, I hate to say that, because so much of what I'm banking on is that you want to become a process server, or you are a process server and you want to get better at it. But if you become a process server in today's day and age, you got better be prepared for what's coming next. We got e-filing, we have e-service, and here coming up, there's the automation tools that I'm building. There's virtually no need for a process server with the stuff that's coming out. And gotta merge here. And I can tell you right now that the industry has been slow going the last. What's up, you guys? Mighty Mike here. So I'm just, I don't know if you're watching the other one, but I've been serving for about an hour today. And I'm just finishing up the day up in Serving Paradise, Magalia, California area. It's full of mountains. I got a little cold going on here, allergies or something. So, you know, until I was like 30 years old, I didn't even know you could have allergies. Oh, it does look like it extended it. Good. So this will be a part of the same video. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. So I'm still playing with this YouTube thing, so forgive me. But, so I'm batting 100% today. Like, I think I'm on number 7. And I've been serving for about an hour. And I got them all served so far. Looks like a couple of them were my collection client, like $40, $50 a serve. Actually, this one's $65 because it's up in the mountains. So $65, and then my $99 rate. You know, and then I have another, 5 serve. So if the night continues to go well, it could be a easy $500 night, in a couple hours. So it's definitely possible, you guys, to make some serious money serving papers. But what I want to stress to you, though, in this particular video here, I'll start to wrap it up. What I want to stress to you is that you can't just take the papers and serve them whenever you feel great. You can't just take the papers and serve them when you feel like it. You got to serve the papers. I don't care. So let me tell you a little story. I love stories. Let me tell you this one. So when I first started, the woman who gave me a chance, her name was Diane Azevedo, A&S Legal Services. The loyalest person I've ever met. And she taught me so much about business when it comes to loyalty. She had like 5 process servers when I first started with her. And you know, we all served, and she went down this list. She'd give this guy a paper, and she'd give this guy a paper, this girl a paper, this girl a paper, and then me a paper, because I was the new guy. And she's very, very upfront. So, signal coming in and out. So I told her, look, Diane, let me just start over. So she had 5 process servers. She'd give each of them a serve here and there, right? Whenever it came their turn. Well, she had no qualms about telling me, Mike, you're the lowest guy on the totem pole because you're the newest guy. You're the F&G, right? So I had to deal with whatever I got. So I went to her and I told her, Diane, I appreciate you giving me this opportunity. If any of the other servers don't want to do something, or it's out of their way, or it's raining and they don't want to go, or it's a difficult serve, and you want someone to go try it as well, I will do it, and I'll make an attempt on it. And if I don't get it, then you don't have to pay me. We never did that, but just the fact that I said that I would make that attempt to get it done instead of them, like they're trying to serve it, then she can give it to me, and I'll try to serve it too, at no cost. And if I serve it because they're having a hard time serving it or whatever, then you pay me my regular price, my regular rate. And so what that did was it gave her confidence in me that she can send me stuff, and I'm not going to gripe and moan about it. I'm not going to say. She had some old school servers, two of them that she gave the most work to. They were like her friends. They were like her age and stuff. They didn't want to go out. One guy named Mike, he just didn't. We call him Million Mile Mike. He's been doing it forever. He just didn't want to go serving. He would just. She'd ask him how come he didn't go, and he'd say, you know, they probably weren't home. And he'd come up with all these excuses and reasons why they probably weren't even home. So he didn't go. But he never went. He never tried. How do you know if you don't go? She had some real problems. Cancer. She actually, because her cancer problems, and you know, and so at one at a time, they either fizzled out, stopped serving, or they died. Million Mile Mike's still around, but he, you know, he serves for another affiliate now. Then Diane eventually. About a year later herself, and there's nobody left, just me. And so all the attorneys, I pretty much gobbled up all the attorneys, and they all use me now. I lost some of the attorneys because they were cheap. You know, Diane started her business in 1982, so she was charging some of these attorneys like $35 and then paying me $25. You know, or she charged them $40 and paid me $20. I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. Like, you're going to pay the same rate you're paying unless you send bulk work, or you do something to make yourself a premium client. Like, guys, know your worth. Diane was afraid. She was afraid to lose clients. You know, I've been afraid to lose clients sometimes too, and that's healthy. Certain clients that you know, they're paying their bills on time. They don't gripe about their bill. You better be busting your hump to make them happy, because if they go somewhere else, you just like, your biggest goal should be to keep the customers you have. That should be your number one goal. Keep whatever customers you do have, and then just get more customers like that you want. In my case, because I do so much do so much work with other process servers and the podcast and the online training courses, I've really got my name out there. So I actually get a lot of affiliate work, which is good when you first start. But affiliates, they all want a discount, you know? And I know my worth. And so when it comes to discounts, I don't like giving discounts. So if they're a Cows Pro member or a NAS member, I'll give them a discount. If they don't join one of the associations to help our industry stay alive, then I have no interest in giving them a discount, because they're not a part of the affiliate group, because they haven't taken on the association and to help the association grow. Let me tell you something. All it takes is one law to end our entire industry. One law. recently a law came out that said that if you're a process serving company and you're hiring independent contractors, then they virtually are employees because you're doing the same business, you're doing the same service. You can't just hire independent contractors because you don't want to pay unemployment tax or the EDD tax, employment tax. You have to pay that. So what you have to either do is switch it up, change your entity type so that you're not a process serving company, you're like an e-filing company or court filing company, and then you're contracting out your serves. Or you have to only hire people that are literally businesses, because you can't, the EDD, the unemployment people, they can't count a company as an individual with rights. They have to count them as a company, not as an individual that should be an employee. So those are the things that are coming down with the why does that matter? Because we send so much work out to other servers. So you have to know this kind of stuff and stay up with the laws. And the only way you're going to do that is if you're a part of an association. I had a guy call me today and was like, nah, I'm not a member of those associations. He was trying to get a discount. He's a nice guy. I ended up giving him a little discount. But I told him, I said, as an example, I said, so did you know about the law when it comes to sending stuff out? I said, you're safe with me, but because I'm a corporation, but you said you send stuff out all over the state. Did you know that when you send stuff out all over the state, the person has to be a company? And if they're not a company, I said, that's CalSPRO just came down with that. You didn't know about that? Ron, I know this street. Hold on a second. I know this street. 573 Castle. I served a nut job on one of these streets the other day. 573 Castle. He is a crazy dude. Shoot, you guys might see him out here. He tried to throw something in my car. It was a nutcase. Let's see, we might see him here today. Yep, that's his house. He's watering his driveway. 573. Yeah, if he saw me, he'd come out here all pissed off. Crazy town. 573. I swear I've been here before. 573, this is it. Let's see if we get somebody to come out. Hopefully Crazy Town doesn't know his neighbor. Hello. I got a delivery. Got a delivery for a Ron? Yeah, Ron Goldfine? Huh? JCW Builders? Sorry. I'm sorry for your loss. Imagine it was your dad or something. Alright. You said 2 years? Alright. I'll let these guys know. Are you his boy or something? Are you his son? And do you own And you own JCW? But you have nothing to do with that. Okay. Well, thank you so much. You guys have a good day. Yeah.
I feel bad for that. That's like a fucking endless circle, dude.
Really? Well, thanks, guys. Apparently the guy died. So, see, I had to make sure his relation to Ron to see if I needed to serve it here. And then I needed to see his relation to the business, right? Because kind of like in sales, like when you go out to sell somebody, when they give you an objection, you got to come back with stuff, right? It's kind of the same thing with this. You got to make sure that you come back with, like you don't want to get into like a back and forth, but what you do want to know is you want to know if they're giving you crap, are they being honest with you? And so the way you do that is you ask more questions. Because as you ask more questions, you're going to get more information that is pertinent to what you're trying to figure out. I want to know, do I need to serve this guy or not? That's it. So, put my seatbelt on. Pull over for a second. This guy, Crazy Town over here next door, he sees me, he'll come at me crazy because I told him, he came at me. Hold on one sec, I'm going to put in my details in my InServe Manager. Crazy Town, watering his driveway. So, Crazy Town says, if you come back, those of you that follow me have already heard this, but YouTube is a new thing I'm doing YouTube now. Crazy Town says, if you come back to my property, I'm going to tie you up to that tree, and I'm going to let my bull mastiffs eat you to death. No joke. No joke, that's what he said. And I believe him. That's the craziest part. I believe him. Like, wholeheartedly. I know that's what he would intend to do. Because he came at my door all crazy, and I said, he came at me, and I just opened my car door in front of him. And I just get something between you and them. And then, they say, first it happens here, then it happens in reality. And if you're not prepared and you're not ready when the time comes, you're going to do it. You're going to be the guy that's like, whoa, I didn't know what's happening. I'm sorry. No, you need to be the guy that's silently hoping that you don't have to mess this dude up right now and put his face in the dirt and tie him up. That needs to be you. Like hoping, please don't make me do this. Please don't make me do it. And be confident that you can do it. I have a 200-pound 17-year-old that wants to wrestle me all the time. And so I get all kinds of experience wrestling him to the ground. And let me tell you, he's an ox. He went all state one year, and I bought him this shirt because he was wrestling. I bought him this shirt that says a Punisher shirt. And they all have to wear their jersey, so he couldn't wear it on they're not their gi. They're in karate too, but their singlet, they call it. Not something I would ever wear, but they have to wear their singlet, but over their singlet they can wear shorts and a jersey or a shirt or something. So I got him this Punisher shirt because he won all of his matches the first day, and on the second day, 2 of the guys beat him out of the 5 that he wrestled, but every single one of them were bleeding at the end of the matches. And so it was really cool to I got the Punisher shirt because he made a name for himself during that week-long tournament that we had to travel and get a hotel and all this stuff. But it was really cool. And so anyway, I get my experience wrestling that ox, and I pit him. I got a couple 100 pounds on him, so, but not as much skill in wrestling that he has, but I know how to subdue somebody. So I'm not saying I'm the greatest wrestler or anything. I'm just saying you want to be confident in what you're doing. If somebody comes at you, you need to be able to do it. Like my zip ties are in the trunk, so I think about that. Like if I had to get somebody, would I have to open the trunk and do all this stuff? By that time, I think I would have probably hurt the guy bad enough that he's not trying to fight me too much anymore, and I can just tie him up. Call the police, wait for the police to come. I'm talking about a brutal situation that I hope never happens. But if somebody ever tries to hurt me, that's what's going to happen. Or I'm going to shoot them. So, just thank God that hasn't happened and hope that it doesn't happen. But you got to be ready for the worst. So, without even knowing it, I'm on my way down the hill back to Chico because I'm on auto, right? I just set it and forget it. And now I just click the next one in my list. Now I'm on my way to the next one, and it happens to be closer to home. But I like to celebrate the small victories. Every single one of them that I went to serve either got served or we had one bad address. Get it done, right? So to finish telling you about the thing with Diane, I ended up getting all those clients, but before Diane died, there were still some other people. They either fizzled out, she stopped using them because they weren't reliable. And she started using me, and so there was a point where I was only doing her work, and I was making about $3,000 a month. At $3,000 a month, I couldn't really pay all my bills, but I could pay a lot of them. So I thought if I could just get one or two of my own clients, I could pay my own bills. So that's how I got up to about $4,000, $5,000. And then I thought I could really do this for a living. So I stopped going to school, dropped out, like I said before. And then I just started killing it, like going into the office. And every time I would serve somebody, every time I would serve an attorney, I'd have my card. And I messed up. When I first started, I bought 5,000 cards from Vistaprint. I was like, what's $150? Because you get all these discounts when you buy more and more and more and more. So I just kept going with the discounts. I was like, yes, yes, yes. And so I ended up buying 5,000 cards, which I still have. Not a whole lot of them, but I still have them. And I've bought 3 different versions after that since we changed our addresses. And on the first cards, I didn't put an address because I didn't want people to come to me. But when you build a company, you got to have an address, and people could send stuff, want to mail you documents and stuff. And your business card should have that. So one thing with having a business card as a process server, though, if you're actually in the field serving people, you might consider getting a card that doesn't have an address, because I give a card to whoever asks for it. And I've given a card to someone one time, and he mailed me the documents back. I don't want the documents back. And then the customer actually wanted a declaration to that effect so they could publish it and tack on the publishing fees to their overall thing, because the company didn't want to accept service for their employee. So I'll drop serve an employer in a heartbeat if they're rude, and I know I'm not going to get anywhere with them. They're not going to give me any information. They're going to be rude. Like the other day, I served live on Facebook. I served Sierra Nevada Brewing Company because they didn't want to tell me any information about the employee. So, all right. Well, I'm going to serve you then. What's really cool about YouTube is that you can just go on and on and on and on and on. So I can keep talking forever, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. It's going to be almost 2 hours, so I'm going to wrap it up. Man. So I don't care if it's raining. I don't care if you're sick like I am today, or there's only a couple things that I would say don't go serving. Do it another day. That's family, right? Sickness, you got to take it with a grain of salt. Figure, can you go? Are you dizzy? If I'm dizzy, I'm not going. I'm not going to risk getting in a car accident. But if I just have some nasal stuff and I have maybe a little bit of a headache, I'm still going to go, because the pain that it's going to cause of having to explain why something didn't get posted or served, or the pain of having to pay somebody else to go do it when I can do it myself much better. I know it sounds terrible, but that's what I've found. I can't find anybody that can serve like I can unless I want to pay them like I pay myself. So I would much rather just go do it myself. With some stipulations. Like, I don't want to go to BFE over here and then go to BFE over there and over there. Like, I'm going in so many directions. My business serves the whole North State, and I can't serve all of them. Almost, but not all of them. So I need some help. So I have some really good servers that help me out. Luckily, I've been blessed with some really good servers that help me out and have helped me grow my business. And, you know, whenever you get a new contract, a new child support contract, you have to have a server in that local area to pick up the serves or to drop off proofs, or, you know, to do your local bidding. So you got to make sure you find somebody good in the area. So a lot of times that's what I do. That's how I open up new areas, is I'll get a child support contract down there in different areas. And once I get that, that will give me the funding that I need, basically, to go down there and start serving myself and actually teach somebody. And that's what I like to do. That's one way. Some people say, how do you get these contracts and still manage your business? Well, automation. One of the things I teach is automation. So guys, get out there, serve it up. I got, looks like 3 more serves here back in Chico, and then I'm going to wrap it up and be done for the day. So about 2 hours of serving, getting so far 8 of them served. It's a good night, and that's what you want. If that's all you do every night, then you can make a good living for yourself, and that's easy. I get, you know, today's my in-between day. You know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You know, I do my evenings. I switch it up, but all right, guys. Well, check out psduniversity.com, and you can check out the courses. And just remember, depending on what stage you're in, maybe you need to learn more about process serving. That's why this video is good for that. Maybe you need to learn more about marketing. I got my marketing fundamentals course. Maybe you need to learn more about automation so you can start to save your cost. Because that's one of the things a lot of people have trouble with, is moving from just a server out here serving, doing this good service, and then they want to hire an employee because they can't be on the phone all the time and serve. I had that same problem. So I created a solution. But I didn't create the solution right away. I hired somebody. Then you know, my wife came on and helped out, and like, I couldn't have done it without them too. But if I would have known about automation from the beginning, I probably would have never hired anybody until my business, like right now, the phones are ringing off the hook all day. So I need somebody, right? But when the phones weren't ringing all the time, I could have just set up automation, so when someone comes to my website, they can see how to hire me right there on my website. They don't need to call me. And that saves you a ton of time. And so if you guys get that automation, and you get the reason why and what it's for, then you're going to go far. If you're an independent right now and you want to move to the next level, you're going to be able to do that with automation. So Automation Domination is coming out July 19th, 2018 via ServeNow. So you can go to processserverdaily.com/serve manager, get your 60 days for free, but you also can sign up for the webinar that me and Trent Carlisle, the CTO of Serve Manager, and we're going to do a webinar, and we're going to teach you guys about automation a little bit. And then on August 1st, I'm launching the Automation Domination course. I'm so excited about that, to share that, because that's going to help so many people automate their firms so that they're not banging their heads against the wall trying to figure this thing out. So I hope to see you guys on the webinar. The first 50 registrants are getting a copy of my book. It's coming out August 1st. So I hope you guys enjoyed this ride along with me tonight. Get out there and serve your stuff. No excuses, all right? All right, we'll catch you next time.